A whole arena just went up in a lightning-fueled fireball. Rock, seats, and half the stage were vaporized. Standing in the middle of the crater is a rookie. Nobody had heard of him 2 months ago. His mask is on and his sword is steaming. His opponent was a 10-year veteran spearmaster. The man spent a decade in this exact tower training for this exact fight. He is not around anymore. He is not in one piece anyway. Let us rewind a bit. A cocky rich kid in a dark forest raises his palm. He cooks up a fireball the size of a small car. He drills it straight into our hero's chest from point-blank range. It is a direct hit. The bully starts laughing. Then the smoke clears and the target is still standing there. His uniform is a little scorched, but his expression is bored. That bully finds out very quickly that the weakling he tormented is not weak. He is not even close to weak. Right before he dies, the bully finds out the truth. This kid has a name people used to whisper in prayer. Rewind even more. A skyscraper-sized giant king stomps toward a village of doomed people. Our guy sprints at it and jumps. He shoves a crackling lightning spear right between the giant's eyes. A massive detonation follows. The head is simply no longer a head. The villagers are cheering. The streaming chat is completely losing its mind. In the dark, alone in a cave, the same hero is on his knees. He is screaming. He is forcing raw electricity into his own body. Ghosts of his dead friends sit around a campfire inside his skull. They stare at him with hollow eyes and ask why he let them die. Yes, that is the story. Buckle up, because you are going to love it. Before the mask, the fame, and the thunder, there was a boy. He woke up inside a trash bin. Let us go back and start there. 20 years earlier, on the 8th floor of the tower, a raid is happening. This is a world-class raid. The #1 guild on the entire planet, Blue Eyes, is fighting a boss. This boss is meant to chew through entire armies. Their leader is a guy named Narukami Subaru. He is rank 1 on the global board. His face is on every stream and he is the poster boy for every rookie. Beside him is his best friend, Kyojo Kazuki. They came up together and cleared floors together. They were practically brothers. In the back of the formation is their healer. She is a sweet and trusting girl. She is focused entirely on her leader. He is trading blows with a creature the size of a stadium. Then Kazuki walks up behind her. She never turns around because she is doing her job. He puts a blade through her spine. He smiles as her eyes go wide. The party lifeline drops to the ground. The boss senses what happened and roars. Subaru whips around just in time to see it. His best friend is smiling while his healer is gone. His whole guild is unraveling in real time. The boss lunges, and everything ends. 2 decades pass, and the world moves on. Kazuki becomes the king of the hunter world. He is worshipped, sponsored, and unbeatable. He throws parties in penthouses. Blue Eyes is reduced to a sad footnote in a history book. Nobody is coming to avenge those people. Nobody, until a bullied boy named Hosoi Subaru opens his eyes. He is inside a dumpster on the far side of the city. A very familiar soul is sitting behind his eyes. The scene shifts to a filthy alley. There are rats and wet cardboard everywhere. A scrawny teenager crawls out of the trash bin. His hair is sticky with liquid and his uniform is stained. This is Hosoi. Everyone at his school treated him like a bug. His body is bottom tier and his social life is worse. But someone else is home now. He blinks and checks his skinny arms in a puddle. He has the same name but a different face. A floating blue window pops up in his vision. It is a system panel. It says he is level 1. The player qualification tutorial begins in 30 seconds. He almost laughs. He recognizes this interface. He helped invent half the strategies people currently use. The last time he saw it, he was entering an 8th floor boss room. He was with the strongest team on Earth. He knows exactly where he is and what year it is. Somewhere out there, his enemy is sitting on a throne. That man murdered his friend and left him for dead. Our guy adjusts his stolen high school blazer. He cracks his neck and a slow smile spreads under his hair. Somebody is about to have a very bad experience. The system yanks him into the tutorial floor. 100 recruits are spat into a stone arena. Most of them are already crying. Overhead, a bored proctor is watching security feeds. He is yawning through his 3rd coffee. He has seen 1,000 of these tests. He knows how they end. Rookies panic and get flattened by goblins. The rules are standard. Survive the dungeon and take down the Goblin King. Then you get certified as a player. Most recruits are burning credits on shiny starter swords. They buy healing potions and small shields. Our guy walks straight to the system shop. He buys 2 items nobody else would touch. Item 1 is a cursed demon sword. It has ridiculous stats but drains your health. Everybody avoids it because it kills the owner. Item 2 is a skill called Greed Bet. This skill removes negative status effects. Together, the curse gets deleted while the stats stay. It is like buying a supercar with a self-destruct button. Then you quietly unscrew the button. The proctor sees this on the feed and chokes on his coffee. Who taught this rookie that combination? That strategy has not even been discovered yet in this timeline. The gate opens and goblins swarm the arena. Our guy grabs a fistful of cheap iron nails. He pockets the nails, which cost only 1 credit each. A goblin lunges from the left. With a 2-fingered flick, a nail goes through its eye. The monster is dead. 2 more monsters lunge from the right. Flick, flick. They are both down. He is not breaking his stride. He is walking like he is at a mall food court. He reaches the boss room. Our guy shoves open the giant stone doors. The Goblin King is 10 times his size. It holds a club that could compress a car. The king roars, and the whole arena shakes. Subaru tilts his head and studies the monster. The king charges. With 1 sidestep, the club smashes the stone. Subaru hops onto the descending club. He sprints up it like a staircase. He reaches the king's shoulder. The demon sword comes down. The head is off and the body drops. The arena goes dead silent. A system window pops up for every recruit. Tutorial complete. Hosoi Subaru has a kill count of 47. His clear time was 2 minutes flat. The proctor spits his coffee across the console. In the tower ranking board, a name quietly moves up. It has not moved in 20 years. Passing the tutorial pushes Subaru to floor 2. There are bigger dungeons and real death here. More importantly, there is real streaming. In this world, streaming is the game. Every player has a broadcast window running. Viewers watch and donate credits mid-fight. They can post paid missions for the players. Big streamers are scooped up by mega agencies. It is like a professional fighting league crossed with a game. Subaru needs credits and gear fast. He needs to level his rotten body. He must be able to fight the man on the throne. He digs a battered old mask out of his bag. Every cosplay kid has copied this mask. He slides it on. He names his channel something forgettable. He does not want his real name trending yet. He has 0 followers and 0 credits. He walks into an orc dungeon anyway. Orcs on floor 2 are terrifying. They are brutal slabs of muscle with giant axes. Rookies normally fight them in groups of 5. They use healers, tanks, and scouts. Our guy runs it solo. His first stream has only 6 viewers. He does not care about the low numbers. He wades into the first pack with his demon sword. It is more of a lecture than a fight. He anticipates their swings before they finish them. He steps between the axes and cuts the orcs. Someone in the chat asks who he is. By the 5th pack, the viewer count is 50. Then it jumps to 500. A screenshot of his mask hits a forum. The post explodes overnight. Subaru reaches the dungeon mini-boss. It is a warrior wolf named Greg. The stream has thousands of viewers now. They are watching a masked rookie take on a monster. The monster is 3 tiers above his level. Greg is fast and smart. The wolf has taken down ranked players before. The arena is a long stone corridor with a wall. Greg pounces the moment Subaru steps in. Our guy does not dodge. He parries the attack. Sword meets fang with a metallic ring. The chat completely detonates. Someone drops a money donation in surprise. Greg lands and spins for another attack. Subaru kicks off the wall and lands behind the wolf. He slashes across its flank. The trick is not the damage yet. The trick is the geography. He is nudging Greg toward the dead-end wall. He is herding the predator like a sheep. Greg realizes it too late. Subaru has already committed to the finisher. He launches under a bite with his sword pointed up. He pins the creature to the stone. Greg turns into loot. A rare drop chime echoes off the walls. A big golden window unfolds in front of him. It says the Thunder Element path is unlocked. Thousands of viewers freak out. Element paths are extremely rare. Thunder is one of the rarest paths of all. Most players never see this prompt. Top rankers would trade anything for this. Subaru selects it without pausing. He knows what Thunder can do later. His whole revenge plan is built around it. He walks out of the dungeon like it is a Tuesday. The Hunter forum thread hits 50,000 replies. A corporate scout named Hatsuka looks at her tablet. She is a manager at Sin Entertainment. This is one of the biggest streaming agencies in the industry. She has watched 1 million rookies during her career. However, she has never seen movement like this before. Her cheeks turn pink and her hands shake slightly. She quietly hits replay while her boss drones on about quarterly numbers. She is not the only person watching the feed. Floor 2 requires a system trial before players can move toward Floor 3. This is not just another dungeon. It is a proper quest that lasts multiple days with real stakes and non-player characters. Subaru sees the trial in his log the next morning. He must protect a night village on the edge of the map. A tribe of giants is raiding the village into rubble. The reward tree is stacked with powerful thunder affinity nodes. Subaru accepts the quest before he finishes reviewing the details. The village is a sad and small place. The wooden walls are burned to charcoal and children hide under carts. A grizzled captain watches the horizon with tired eyes. This captain has seen a dozen hunters arrive and then teleport away in fear. He looks at Subaru and sees a scrawny masked teenager. The boy is alone and carries only a single sword. The captain sighs like a man who has already picked out his own grave. Subaru does not argue with the man. He walks past the captain and straight through the village gate. He stands on the plain and waits for the enemy. The giants arrive at dusk. There are 12 of them in total. The small giants are the size of trucks. The large giants are the size of houses. In the middle stands the chief, who is 3 stories tall. He wears a necklace made of hunter helmets as trophies. The chief roars a challenge that shakes the dirt under the boots of Subaru. The young man cracks his knuckles and rolls his neck. He puts a hand out to channel his power. For the first time on a live stream, he pulls thunder. A jagged blue arc spits down his arm and coats the demon's sword. The power is only a trickle. Subaru is still figuring out how to route energy through his weak body. He must not pop his own veins. Even a trickle turns a cursed sword into a powerful weapon. The little giants charge first while howling. Subaru blurs between them and taps his sword against their knees and necks. Every touch discharges a jolt that locks their muscles. The giants are frozen for half a second. Half a second is all the time Subaru needs. He strikes the neck, the knee, and the throat. They fall like armored dominoes. The chief sees his squad dropping and swings a stone club in a panic. The club whistles overhead, but Subaru is already sliding under the weapon. He glides on his back with his sword arm up. He performs a zap, a stab, and a twist. The leg tendon of the giant shreds instantly. The chief drops to one knee with a loud bellow. Subaru is already climbing the leg of the giant sword first. He uses the armor scales as footholds to reach the throat. He discharges every last drop of thunder he has left. The head of the chief snaps back and he turns into loot. The village explodes into cheering, and the chat feed explodes with donation spam. The stream counter clicks over a massive number. This viewership spike causes the servers of Sin Entertainment to hiccup. Only 3 streamers on the platform have ever hit this mark. Every single one of them is a top 10 global ranker. 2 people watching the stream are not spamming emotes. They stare at their screens in silence. One is Hatsuka at Sin Entertainment. The other observer is a data analyst named Hokwai. His fans call him Hawkeyes. He is famous for analyzing player fights frame by frame to find mistakes. Both people hit replay on the exact same 3-second sequence. They watch the sword arc across the throat of the chief, then they both open a very old video from 20 years ago. This is a raid highlight reel from the Blue Eyes Guild. It shows Narukami Subaru dismantling a legendary ogre boss. The angles match perfectly, and the footwork is identical. There is a tiny wrist flick before the killing stroke. No one else in the world has ever managed to replicate that move. The tablet of Hatsuka slips out of her hands. The coffee mug of Hokwai crashes to the floor. Both of them whisper the word no in dawning disbelief. Everyone in the world knows that Narukami Subaru is dead. He died on the 8th floor 20 years ago with the rest of his guild. This is settled history, and his name is on a plaque. Yet they watch a masked kid do the same move. Subaru walks back to the village to collect his reward. He has no idea that the sharpest eyes in the industry are watching him. His quiet revenge plan is about to become a media event. He also has a petty problem heading his way. A rich and spoiled fire thrower is approaching. The original body of Hosoi Subaru had a personal tormentor at school. This kid is named Isak, and he is the son of a famous ranker. Isak thinks the world is a mattress laid out just for him. He has used the body of Hosoi as a personal punching bag. Isak heard that little Hosoi is the masked rookie on the internet. He does not take this news well. He decides that little Hosoi needs to have an accident in the woods. This must happen off-camera where no one will find the body. Isak lights a fireball in his palm as he steps through the trees. The forest is quiet with no birds or wind. There is only the crunch of expensive boots on leaves. Isak steps into the clearing with two goons behind him. A fireball spins above his palm while he smiles. Isak has bright red hair and a tailored school uniform. His father is floor 6 royalty, and he thinks he is a demigod. Subaru stands in the middle of the clearing with his hands in his pockets. His mask hangs loose at his collar and he looks mildly bored. Isak tells Subaru that he has been embarrassing him. He claims the masked freak makes him look stupid. Subaru does not answer and tilts his head like a cat watching a bug. This makes the smile of Isak crack. He snaps at Subaru to say something, but the young man remains silent. The goons shift uncomfortably, and one mentions leaving the area. Isak barks at him to shut up. His pride rewrites the moment in real time. He tells himself that Hosoi is scared stiff. The alternative is unthinkable to him. Isak winds up and puts everything into his attack. The fireball grows from the size of a softball to a furnace. It sucks the oxygen out of the clearing, and the trees start smoking. This is no longer a lesson, but a murder. Isak lets the fireball fly across the clearing like a comet. It is a direct hit to the center of the chest. The whole grove flashes with orange light. Trees catch fire and grass turns to ash. The shockwave knocks Isak and his goons backward. Isak laughs before the smoke clears because he is certain he killed the freak. Then a single footstep crunches through the ash. The laughter of Isak dies instantly. The smoke curls back to reveal Subaru standing in the same spot. His hands are still in his pockets. His uniform has a slight scorch mark on the shoulder. That is the entire damage report from the massive fireball. Subaru rolls his shoulders as if he is shaking off a light drizzle. He calmly slides the mask up over his face. The brain of Isak seems to crash. Every hunter in the world knows that mask. It was retired 20 years ago in mourning. Museums keep replicas of that mask behind glass. The father of Isak even has one framed in his study. Isak stammers that it must be a costume. Subaru takes a single step forward. The air around him drops 10 degrees and a faint blue arc licks up his arm. Isak flinches as if he has been slapped. Subaru notes that the father of Isak once watched him. 20 years ago, the father watched him solo an Ogre King. Subaru remembers the nervous eyes of the man. The father had begged for an autograph afterward. The goons behind Isak turn the color of old cheese. Subaru mentions that Isak has been bullying his body for years. This is a debt he had forgotten he owed. Isak shrieks in full panic and sprays fire in a wild arc. He turns to bolt into the woods. Subaru does not move fast but chooses the correct walking pace. The demon sword slides out as he steps around a burning branch. Subaru catches Isak at the tree line and makes one clean cut. The firearm of Isak hits the dirt. The rich kid drops to the ground and screams while clutching the stump. The goons sprint into the trees and disappear. Subaru crouches down next to Isak. He is not cruel or gloating but remains businesslike. He gets in close so his voice lands clearly. He tells Isak to send a message to his father. Subaru says that Narukami sends his regards. Then he stands up and finishes the job. The stream is not live for this part of the fight. Subaru killed the feed before entering the woods. However, a tiny drone the size of a beetle blinks in the underbrush. Someone with money has been watching the entire time. That person is currently sitting in an expensive office chair with her mouth open. Across the city, Hatsuka stands in the Tower of Sin Entertainment. This building is 60 stories of glass. She stands in the corner suite and holds a tablet like a grenade. Her boss is a smug guy in a shiny suit. He has spent 10 minutes explaining his position to her. He says the agency does not sign masked randoms from floor 2. He claims they are unstable and bad for the brand. Hatsuka is usually a quiet and apologetic person. She avoids conflict and blushes easily. However, she does something unexpected and slaps the tablet on the desk. The screen shows the killing arc from the giant chief fight. It is paused mid-swing next to a 20-year-old raid clip. The images are overlaid and identical. Her boss opens his mouth to argue, but she talks over him. Hatsuka tells him that the rookie is actually Narukami. She has compared 43 separate movement frames. She has cross-checked all the archived footage from the past. Hatsuka emphasizes the wrist flick. No one has ever been able to copy that specific movement. Even the top rankers could not manage it. This rookie has been doing it in every single fight. He does not even seem to be trying. She warns her boss that they must sign him tonight. If they wait, another agency will take him. They will look like the biggest clowns in the industry. She runs out of oxygen, and her face turns bright red. Her boss stares at the overlay in silence. The man picked up the tablet. He watched the video once. He watched the video a second time. On the third viewing, his expensive suit became damp with sweat. He set the device down and spoke in a quiet voice. He ordered his staff to find the person regardless of the cost. Hatsuka made a sharp squeaking sound. She bowed so deeply that she nearly struck the desk with her head. She scurried out of the room immediately. She clutched the tablet tightly against her chest. Subaru walked out of the woods. He wiped the demon sword on a scrap of cloth. The cloth came from the expensive jacket belonging to Isak. A black sedan waited on the road ahead. The vehicle featured tinted windows and corporate plates. A woman with a clipboard waited beside the car. The woman was blushing deeply and blinking as if she had just run a marathon. Subaru saw the woman and the sedan. He noticed the logo on the door. Subaru almost laughed at the sight. The logo belonged to Sin Entertainment. 20 years ago, that agency was a tiny startup. Subaru once had a desk in the back room of their original office. He had signed their first Hunter contract. He remembered the coffee machine breaking during his first stream. Subaru walked up to the woman and nodded. He waited for her to speak. Hatsuka tried to start the speech she had practiced for 40 minutes. However, Hatsuka could only stutter a few broken words about the contract and sponsorship. She turned a deep shade of red from embarrassment. Subaru took the clipboard from her hands gently. He flipped through the pages of the contract. He scanned the numbers carefully. His eyebrow rose when he saw the signing bonus. Subaru used the pen belonging to Hatsuka to sign the document. He handed the clipboard back to her. Subaru told her to send the credits to his account by tonight. He explained that he needed to buy new gear. Hatsuka nodded so vigorously that her hair struck her face. She tried to say thank you, but the sound was muffled and indistinct. She dove headfirst into the sedan. The door slammed shut. The car drove away before her boss could change his mind. Subaru shook his head with mild amusement. He put his mask back on. He now had corporate backing and a full sponsorship. This provided legal money laundering for the chaos he intended to cause. Now he could begin the painful part of his plan. Everything he had done so far relied on muscle memory and gear tricks. He used a cursed sword and his battle intelligence. His 20 years of instincts helped him survive in a weak body. These skills helped him pass floor 2. However, they would not get him to floor 8. To climb higher, his body needed a powerful engine. He needed to carve channels through his flesh so magic could flow properly. Thunder needed to become a powerful reactor inside his chest. These channels only opened through intense pain. Deep in the mountain range of floor 2, a waterfall had stormed for 100 years. A cave called the Thunder Path lay behind the water. Inside the cave, wild lightning bounced off the walls. This was a permanent electrical storm. It was not a fight or a boss encounter. It was simply ambient death. Regular hunters would be killed within 3 seconds. The strategy was to enter the cave and sit in the center. One must let the lightning strike repeatedly for hours. The body must remain perfectly still to survive. Nobody in this era has successfully done this. Only one person in history has survived the Thunder Path. That record was held by a very familiar name. Subaru had done it once before. That was 20 years ago in a body designed for the task. Now he was attempting it again. His current body was not suited for this challenge. He muted his stream so no one would watch. He walked through the waterfall as steam rose from his shoulders. He entered the cave and sat on a scorched stone. Subaru was in the center of the largest lightning field on the floor. He opened his spiritual defenses. He unlocked the internal walls that protect organs from magic. The first bolt of lightning hit before he finished the third gate. The sound of thunder drowned out his scream. His body slammed against the stone. His muscles locked and his veins began to glow blue. Every nerve felt like a live wire. His fingers curled so tightly that his nails cut his palms. The second, third, and fourth bolts struck like a metronome. Every strike carved a new channel through his body. Each strike felt like the impact of a heavy truck. Sweat and blood poured from his body. He did not move. If he flinched, the current would destroy his organs. Any mistake would result in death. His consciousness slipped after more than 30 bolts hit him. He was no longer in the cave. He found himself standing by a campfire. It was warm and smelled of grilled meat. He recognized this base camp from floor 7. He remembered the log where he sat. Subaru had once carved a mark into the log for a friend. His old companions were gathered around the fire. Shigure was cooking meat and complaining about the seasoning. Toshia was polishing her legendary Teleria shoes. Rina was asleep against the shoulder of Toshia. Their healer was nearby, braiding flowers and humming. They looked up and smiled at Subaru. The throat of Subaru tightened with emotion. He did not want to leave this place. Then the fire popped and the scene changed. The eyes of Shigure went hollow. The shoes of Toshia were covered in blood. Tears ran down the face of Rina. The flowers in the hands of the healer turned black. Toshia asked why he had left them there. Subaru tried to answer, but he could not speak. Shigure said they were supposed to watch each other. He sounded tired rather than angry. Shigure asked where Subaru was when Kazuki attacked. The healer lifted her head to reveal a hole in her chest. She smiled kindly at him. The healer told him it was okay because he was busy fighting. Those words hurt more than the lightning in the cave. Subaru fell to his knees and pressed his head to the dirt. He promised himself that he would catch the person responsible. Rina reached out to him. Her fingers passed through his hair like smoke. She told him to get up and stop wasting the lightning. Subaru snapped his eyes open back in the cave. A bolt was arcing toward his chest. He was slightly out of position. He corrected his posture in a fraction of a second. The bolt landed correctly and carved another channel. He did not lose consciousness again. Many hours passed as he sat in the storm. Eventually, the lightning began to ease. His body was finally absorbing the energy. Subaru had become part of the storm itself. When he stood up, his legs were wobbling. His uniform was damaged and his hair stood on end. A blue arc of electricity ran around his left wrist. He had not called for it. The energy lived there now. A system window opened. He stepped out through the waterfall into the sunlight. Steam rose from his shoulders as he moved. He rolled his neck and heard the sound of static. He unmuted the stream for his viewers. The chat participants reacted with extreme excitement. Subaru did not explain his absence. He began walking toward the village for his final trial. Timing in this world is often difficult. While Subaru mastered electricity, a massive creature appeared. This was Grog, the giant king of kings. Grog was as large as a walking hill. He had a face like a landslide. Grog carried a stone club embedded with the remains of hunters. He had been sleeping under the mountain for 100 years. Something had recently woken him up. Grog was now moving toward the night village. Subaru saw that half of the front wall was destroyed. Villagers were fleeing through the back gate. The captain stood on a burning gatehouse with a spear. He was trying to lead a final stand. His men were being defeated quickly. Subaru did not slow down as he ran toward the village. He passed the fleeing villagers and the panicked knights. He climbed the collapsing wall and stood by the captain. Subaru told the captain to evacuate everyone through the back gate immediately. The captain saw the blue electricity on the wrists of Subaru. He stopped arguing and began shouting orders. Grog turned his massive head toward the wall. The giant roared so loudly that the trees lost their bark. Subaru pulled out a rare crafting item from the warrior wolf drop. The item was bound to the element of thunder. In his hands, it transformed into a lightning spear. The weapon glowed with blue and white energy. It floated just above his palm and hummed with power. The viewers on the stream watched in silence. Grog charged forward and created small earthquakes. The giant raised his club to flatten the village. Subaru took a single breath and jumped toward the face of Grog. Subaru pulled the lightning spear back over his shoulder during the flight. He met the giant in mid-air at one single point. Subaru grinned beneath his mask. He drove the spear into the forehead of Grog. He twisted the weapon and then detonated the energy. The entire top half of the giant king vanished instantly. A massive explosion flattened the remaining village walls. A shockwave knocked down people a full kilometer away. When the smoke cleared, Subaru stood in a smoking crater. His mask was still in place. The lower half of Grog remained standing for a moment. A soft chime sounded in the ears of Subaru. A pulsing crystal appeared in his inventory. The crystal was deep blue and very rare. This item was a significant reward for this floor. The chat window was filled with excited messages. Donations arrived faster than the system could process them. In her office, Hatsuka performed a small dance of joy next to her printer. Somewhere in a penthouse on floor 20, a man named Kyojo Kazuki pauses mid-sentence. He holds a glass of very expensive wine halfway to his mouth. He frowns at nothing in particular. A tiny itch has just started at the back of his skull. He does not know why yet. The protagonist is stepping onto floor 3. Floor 3 is where things get loud. This floor does not look like floor 2. Floor 2 featured forests, villages, and honest muddy roads. Floor 3 is a real city. The skyline features neon signs, hover trams, and large billboards. The city of Ordinaral is the trading capital of the tower. Every hunter with ambition passes through here at least once. This is the place where the money lives. Subaru steps out of the transit gate. The first thing he sees is his own face on a billboard. His mask is 50 meters tall. It sits under the logo of Sin Entertainment with blinking neon. A sign announces that the masked rookie will be live tonight on pay-per-view. He stops walking for a second to appreciate the image. Hatsuka has been busy. The online chat is very active. 20,000 simultaneous viewers watch him watch himself on a billboard. Someone sends a donation to comment that the ego of the protagonist must be very tall. He shakes his head and keeps moving. Floor 3 has a complication that Floor 2 lacked. Two rival factions exist, called the Conrad Alliance and the Ottoman Syndicate. These hunter blocks split every dungeon and quest board in the city. They even divide the after-hours karaoke bars. Conrad members wear blue, while the Ottoman members wear red. You must pick a side within your first week. Otherwise, the factions will squeeze you out of every job on the floor. Subaru already knows which side he needs. He ran with a small crew 20 years ago. That crew later became the seed of the Conrad Alliance. He maintains old loyalty and old contacts. He also has old maps of a specific dungeon that Conrad controls. He walks into the Conrad Guild Hall wearing his mask and a coat. It is obvious that he slept in his clothes. The receptionist looks up and recognizes the mask. She recognizes the coat from the billboard she passed earlier. She makes a small noise like a squeaky toy. Then she fumbles for her intercom. 10 minutes later, Subaru is sitting in a leather chair. He faces 3 Conrad captains and drinks the fancy tea of someone else. The captains try to sound casual about signing him to their team. He signs for a basic membership and receives a blue arm patch. He does not tell them about his secret plan. He intends to solo the most sacred dungeon of the Alliance by the end of the week. That dungeon is called the Thunder Cave. This cave is different from the Thunder Path on floor 2. It is bigger, meaner, and deeper. The Conrad Alliance has been trying to clear it for a decade. The rewards inside include gear that floor 10 rankers desire. Nobody has cracked the dungeon yet. It is a running joke on this floor. This brings us to the second problem. A Conrad captain named Omar Schneider stands in the corner of the guild hall. Schneider glares at the protagonist from behind a wall of muscle. He is huge and as large as a cathedral. The shoulders of the captain are wide enough to block doorways. A spear on his back looks like an architectural feature. On floor 3, the blue zone rank of Schneider is a demigod tier. He has been stuck on this floor for 10 years. He has spent every year trying to clear the Thunder Cave. Schneider walks up without a greeting. The voice of the captain sounds like a gravel truck backing up. He claims that the Thunder Cave belongs to him. Subaru sips his tea and asks who says so. The whole room goes quiet. A junior member near the door quietly excuses himself. Schneider closes his fist around the spear on his back. He does not draw the weapon. The threat is enough on its own. Schneider says every runner on this floor knows the truth. He has bled and buried teams in that cave. He insists that nobody touches it before he does. The protagonist sets the teacup down very gently. Subaru remarks that 10 years is a long time to still be losing. One of the other captains makes a muffled sound. Schneider pulls the spear from his back. The whole room prepares for a fight. A battle is about to start in the guild hall on a live stream. The team of Sin Entertainment watches from 6 blocks away. They feel the stress of the situation. One of the older captains steps between them with his palms up. He tells them not to fight here today. He points at a tournament banner on the wall. The Floor 3 Battle Royale starts in 3 days. The grand prize includes a special item from a private collector. The captain tells them to fight in the ring like professionals. The winner gets the first crack at the Thunder Cave. The loser must remain silent about the dungeon forever. Schneider and Subaru stare at each other. They both smile at exactly the same time. These are not friendly smiles. Schneider growls that the ring is fine. The protagonist agrees. The captain feels relief, while the chat loses its mind. Clips of the interaction are already spreading across Hunter forums. Fans of Schneider are typing responses that will not age well. 3 days is the window of time. That is not much time to train a rookie body. However, it is plenty of time for Subaru. He walks out of the guild hall and goes to a gym. This is the Central Hunter Gym of Ordinaril. It features marble floors and robot sparring dummies. The combat simulator rooms cost a high price per hour. High-level hunters rent time here. A leaderboard on the wall shows damage records. At the top of the list is a name from 20 years ago. The record for the Category C rank robot gauntlet is 47 robots. The time was 2 minutes and 14 seconds. The record was never beaten or challenged. The name on the record is Narukami Subaru. The protagonist strolls up to the leaderboard. He examines his own name and the time. He nods once like a customer approving a menu. He books the gauntlet room and walks in. The stream remains on, but he does not hide it. He does not tell the chat what he plans to try. He sets the panel to the Category C rank gauntlet on maximum aggression. He steps into the ring with the demon sword in his hand. The doors seal and the countdown blinks red. The chat is confused about why they are in a gym. The first wave drops from the ceiling. 10 combat robots descend with blades for hands. For a normal player, this wave is a scramble. Subaru does not scramble. He moves with economical efficiency. Every step is placed carefully. Every swing kills exactly one target. He does not spin or pose for the camera. He treats this like a stopwatch problem. Wave 2, Wave 3, and Wave 4 drop. He moves like a metronome. Robots hit the floor at identical intervals. It looks like a factory line running in reverse. After 10 seconds, the viewers realize what is happening. They wonder if he is going for the record. They ask if he is chasing the record of Narukami. They cannot believe he is clearing the gauntlet. The streamer Hokwai stops eating his sandwich. He puts the sandwich down and watches the fight. Wave 5, Wave 6, and Wave 7 pass. 42 robots are down and 29 robots remain. His breathing does not change. The demon sword is barely bloody. Wave 8 brings the elite robots. These are bigger and armored with guns. They open fire immediately. The protagonist does not dodge. He redirects the fire. A blade tip nudges one gun barrel slightly. The shot hits another robot. A chain reaction causes 3 of them to explode. The chat is screaming with excitement. They are shocked by his skill. The final robot lands. It is a heavy unit with thick armor and blade fists. It gets exactly 1 swing. Subaru steps inside the arc. He punches the sword through the chin plate. The corpse falls past him. The gauntlet is complete. The record board on the wall updates with a neon sweep. The time is exactly 2 minutes and 14 seconds. He killed 47 robots. He did not perform better or worse than the old record. The chat stops for 3 seconds. Then absolute chaos erupts. Viewers realize he tied the record exactly. They wonder why he did not break the record. Some think he is toying with the audience. Hatsuka is in the pay-per-view lounge of Sin Entertainment. She is incredibly excited by the stream numbers. The marketing team will surely reward her. Hokwai speaks softly to his audience. He says the protagonist did not tie the record by accident. He calls it a message. He does not say who the message is for. He rewinds the tape and watches the same 3 seconds. The hands of the streamer are shaking a little. 12 floors up, Kyojo Kazuki watches the footage. He is the traitor king and the god of the current era. He is very still. He rewinds the video to watch the last stab. He watches the footwork on the 4th wave. He sets the wine glass down without drinking. For the first time in 20 years, he does not smile. He picks up a phone and dials a number. He orders his people to find everything about the masked one. He wants the information immediately. Then he sits back and stares at the screen. Meanwhile, the protagonist has already left the gym. He visits Sin Entertainment on the way to his hotel. Hatsuka is waiting in the lobby. She holds contract documents and tries to look professional. The cheeks of the assistant turn pink when she sees the mask. She welcomes him back. He signs the documents without reading them. He trusts her now. She almost passes out from the excitement. He asks about the special tournament prize. She is hesitant because it is confidential. However, she caves in and shows him the file. The screen displays a pair of shoes. They are elegant shoes made of silvered leather. They have runic threading and tiny wings at the ankles. They are called Talaria. These were the shoes of Toshia. Subaru does not move for several breaths. He reaches out and gently touches the screen. He stays silent. Hatsuka is smart enough to remain quiet as well. He remembered a night 20 years and one betrayal ago. This occurred on floor 7. Toshia came running into their camp holding a battered brown box. She screamed with excitement that she had found them. He remembered her dancing in a circle in front of the campfire. She wore the shoes over her socks. He remembered Rina laughing so hard that she cried. He promised Toshia that he would raid a floor to get them back if she ever lost them. The shoes vanished after the 8th floor massacre. Nobody in the world knew where they went. A private collector owned them now. This collector wanted to see the true identity of the masked rookie. The collector dangled a relic on a tournament board as bait. The rookie had a short list of people who would do that. He handed the tablet back to Hatsuka. He stated that he was going to win those shoes. Hatsuka nodded so hard her earrings clacked together. It was tournament day. The Ordinal Grand Arena was a bowl of noise. 60,000 seats were available, and every seat was full. Standing room was stuffed with people. Vendors screamed about grilled skewers. Betting boards along every wall flickered with live odds. The pay-per-view counter for Sin Entertainment rolled numbers very fast. The tournament format was a battle royale. 40 qualifying fighters dropped into a shrinking arena. Kills banked points for the participants. The last one standing would win the competition. The format was simple and brutal. It was designed specifically for streaming. The floor of the arena was a jagged battlefield. It featured broken pillars and scattered cover and overhead catwalks. Fog machines hissed along the edges for style. Names were called and fighters walked out. Some received cheers while others received boos. A man with dual axes had a row of fans with a banner. A girl with a whip had a hype squad screaming her name. Then the announcer introduced Omar Schneider. He represented the Conrad Alliance as a veteran and a pillar of the community. The place erupted with noise. Half the arena stood up. Schneider walked out slowly with a spear on his back. He did not wave or look at the crowd. He looked at the fighter tunnel opposite him. Then the announcer introduced the masked rookie. The other half of the arena lost their minds. They were louder than the fans of Schneider. Merchandise for Sin Entertainment was everywhere in the crowd. Kids wore plastic masks and screamed loudly. The rookie walked out and did not wave. He simply went to his mark. The two fighters locked eyes across the arena. Every stream in the tower focused on this shot. One specific stream was watched on a handheld tablet in row 44. This was in section G of the upper deck. These were cheap nosebleed seats. A person in a hooded coat sat there alone. She pulled her hood over long dark hair. A mask covered the lower half of her face. Her hands folded around a battered leather satchel. She did not cheer or eat. She only looked at the rookie. Her fingers were wrapped around the hilt of a curved dagger. This was Rina. She was alive and older and harder. She was not laughing or sleeping on the shoulders of others. She heard about the shoes 2 days ago. Word travels fast in the Hunter Underground. Someone was dangling the Talaria shoes of Toshia as a prize. She had been in this city ever since she heard. Her plan was simple. She would let someone win the shoes regardless of who it was. She would follow them home and ambush them in an alley. Then she would take the guild property and disappear. She was very good at disappearing after 20 years of hiding. She spent the last hour studying the frontrunners. Schneider was a problem because he was too big and armored. The masked rookie was a bigger problem. His combat footage was baffling to her. Something about the way he moved felt familiar. She watched him now as he stood motionless in the sun. The way he stood with his weight on his back foot bothered her. She did not know why. She frowned under her mask and filed the thought away for later. The announcer began the countdown. Rina tightened her grip on the dagger. The countdown hit 0 and chaos began. 40 fighters exploded outward. The arena floor became a blur of clashing steel and spraying sparks. Magic circles bloomed and died. 2 fighters collided in midair and bounced off a pillar. A frost mage froze an entire corner. A rogue turned invisible, but was hit by a fireball. Subaru did not sprint into the center. He was farming for donations. The viewers realized this was a business move rather than caution. This was a live stream, and donations were the point. Every kill on the stream banked a bounty from viewers. Live tickers scrolled above the arena rim listing paid missions. One offered 500 credits to behead an axe user. Another offered 1,000 credits to parry a spear thrust. A third offered 2,000 credits to clear 3 fighters with 1 attack. Subaru was speedrunning the donation board. He picked off an axe user with a cursed sword. He banked the bounty immediately. Then he slid past a spear rookie and parried a thrust. He elbowed the rookie into a pillar. He dropped into a scrum and unloaded an arc of thunder. 3 fighters went down at once. Hatsuka stood on her chair in the executive booth. Her boss also stood on a chair. The fighter count dropped to 10. The arena floor shrank as the edges glowed red. This forced the fighters toward the middle. The remaining 8 were a mix of veterans and faction stars. Schneider had not moved much. He stood on top of a broken pillar with his spear planted. 2 fighters tried to rush him early. Both were now dense on the wall behind him. He watched Subaru closely. Subaru felt the gaze but did not look up. The ring shrank again down to 3 fighters. These were Schneider and Subaru, and a girl with whip swords. The girl was smart and read the room. She looked at the 2 men and the shrinking ring. She raised her hands and announced her forfeit. Half the crowd booed, while others cheered her wisdom. She walked calmly off the platform. The ring closed into a tight circle. Only Schneider and Subaru remained. Schneider stepped off the pillar with deliberate movements. Every footfall was loud in the sudden hush. 60,000 people held their breath. Schneider planted his spear in the stone and rolled his shoulders. He smiled for the first time all day. Schneider spoke quietly to the rookie. He noted that he had waited 10 years for this moment. He wanted a rookie to challenge his dungeon. Subaru drew the demon sword. He pictured the memory of Toshia in the campfire light. He did not answer the veteran. He stepped forward and Schneider lifted his spear. The crowd inhaled at once. In the upper deck, Rena gripped her dagger. The bell rang and the final fight began. Schneider moved first and was very fast for his size. The spear came in low with a testing thrust. It was an opening move to see how a rookie would flinch. It helped a veteran plan the real attack. Subaru did not twitch at all. He slid his sword along the spear shaft. He redirected the tip past his hip. Then he tapped the wrist of Schneider with the flat of his blade. It was just a tap and not a cut. The eyes of Schneider narrowed. The viewers on the stream noticed the disrespect immediately. They commented that the rookie had just tapped the veteran. Schneider recovered his spear and pivoted. He launched 3 real thrusts at the high and low and throat areas. These were powerful enough to punch through steel plate. Each thrust landed with a loud crack. Subaru did not block any of them. He simply walked around the attacks. His head tipped slightly, and the throat thrust hissed past his ear. His hip rotated, and the low thrust missed. He looked like a man strolling through a bead curtain. Schneider gritted his teeth and planted his back foot. He twisted his body into the next thrust. This move carried 10 years of frustration. Subaru caught the spear tip between 2 fingers. He stopped the weapon in the air with a cold stop. The whole arena made a sound of shock. Schneider stared at his pinched weapon. Subaru glanced at him over the mask. He told Schneider that he should have cleared the dungeon years ago. He noted that the footwork of the veteran opened on the reverse thrust. Schneider laughed with a mix of fury and joy. He was a man who had waited a decade for a real challenge. He ripped the spear back and dropped his professional stance. He shifted into a battlefield stance with his shoulder low. The next flurry of attacks was real. He launched 15 thrusts in 5 seconds. The spear became a wall of moving metal. Subaru was not walking anymore. He was fighting for his life. Sparks flew off the demon sword. His feet left scorched marks on the arena stone. He took a shallow cut across the collarbone. He did not change his breathing. He redirected each thrust half a beat before it launched. He was not winning yet, but he was surviving. Schneider was a true monster in combat. The viewers stopped sending messages and watched in silence. Even the trolls were focused on the screen. Schneider spotted an opening after 50 seconds of combat. The back foot of Subaru was slightly too far to the left. It was a small window for an attack. The entire body of Schneider coiled for the strike. He drops his stance. He plants both feet. Then he cocks the spear back over his shoulder. He throws his entire body forward into a single thrust. This is his signature move. He named the move after a mountain he grew up next to. This strike killed a Floor 5 boss alone 8 years ago. Every joint is aligned and every muscle fires. The spear tip lights up blue and white with pressurized air. The thrust drills a tunnel through the air. The chat sees the move and knows exactly what it is. Viewers identify it as his finishing move. They recognize it as the mountain thrust. Subaru sees the attack coming too. He does not dodge. Instead, he drops his stance and plants both feet. He cocks the demon sword back. Then he meets the strike head-on. The sword and spear are on a straight collision course. They meet point to point. There are no angles and no tricks. There is no footwork involved. This is the oldest fight in the world. Rina sits high in the arena and half rises out of her seat. She does not know why she feels this way. Something about the way he plants his back foot draws her attention. She notices the specific angle and weight distribution. Rina has seen that stance somewhere before. It feels like a very old memory. 60,000 people in the crowd stop breathing. Subaru brings his other hand up right before impact. He holds the Heart of Thunder. It hums and glows so brightly that it colors half the arena blue. He does not throw or fire the crystal. Instead, he absorbs the energy. He pulls the power into the demon sword and himself. The crystal disappears into his palm like water into sand. Every blue vein on his body lights up at once. His hair stands straight up. His mask crackles at the edges. The demon sword is no longer a cursed blade. It becomes a lightning rod for a floor-tier relic. The two weapons meet. For 1 full second, absolutely nothing happens. The spear tip and the sword tip touch. They hold their position. Even physics itself seems to hesitate. Then physics remembers the purpose of a Heart of Thunder. The explosion is more like a deletion. A dome of white and blue light expands from the contact point. Everything inside the dome ceases to hold its shape. The ring cracks under the pressure. The stone floor melts into glass in a perfect 20-meter circle. Overheard catwalks vaporize instantly. The fog machines along the edges disappear. Half of the front row seating turns to ash. This happens before safety barriers register the threat. The shockwave hits the outer walls. The protective ward of the arena cracks in 3 places. It rings like a giant bell. The crowd is thrown backward against their seats. Someone's soda flies back 6 rows. The light holds for 3 seconds before collapsing inward and dying. The dust clears to reveal a crater where the ring once stood. Only one figure stands in the middle. He holds the smoking and humming demon sword in his right hand. His left hand is empty and steaming. His mask is scorched black on one side. His coat is half gone. The right leg of his pants is missing entirely. He remains upright. At his feet lies a spear. The weapon is snapped clean in 2 pieces. The chat is unable to type. The viewers remain in stunned silence for 4 full seconds. For a Hunter livestream, this is like a national moment of mourning. The announcer's microphone crackles. He tries to speak, but nothing comes out. He tries again. He announces the masked rookie as the winner by knockout. The arena explodes with sound. 60,000 people shout at once. It is not simple cheering. It is something much older. This is the sound a crowd makes during a fairy tale. Schneider fans in the front rows are silent. Some of them are crying. One fan calmly sets down his foam spear. He walks out of the section without a word. He is not angry. He looks like a man who watched his hero die well. Hatsuka has slid off her beanbag in the booth. She lies face down on the floor and holds her tablet. Her boss writes a large number on a napkin. He slides it to the marketing head. The marketing head nods and eats the napkin. He is not doing well. No one in the booth will be okay for a week. The stream from Hokwai is one continuous scream. He is no longer being professional. He stands with his arms in the air. He replays the clash in slow motion. At the same time, he yells nonsense to his viewers. Kyojo Kazuki watches from a penthouse 12 floors up. His wine glass is empty. He does not remember drinking the wine. He rewinds the footage to watch the sword stance again. He looks at the back foot and the weight distribution. He notices the shoulder dropped half an inch before the collision. It is the way it always used to be. Kyojo Kazuki says a name out loud for the first time in 20 years. He speaks the name very softly. He says it like a prayer he does not want answered. Then he stands up and places the glass on a coaster. He walks out of the room to make phone calls. These calls will not be pleasant for the people who receive them. Back in the arena, Subaru is helped onto a victory platform. He is fine and waves off the medical team. He limps a little for now, however, he will likely be fine in an hour. The trophy is wheeled out on a velvet stand. These are the silver shoes named Talaria. They feature silver leather with faint runic threading. Small wings are attached at each ankle. There is not a single scratch on them. They look like they came off the feet of Toshiya yesterday. Subaru walks up and takes the box gently in both hands. He does not put the shoes on. He does not hold them up for the crowd. Instead, he cradles the box against his chest. The cameras catch nothing under his mask. There is no crying or shaking. Only two people in the world really know him. They see the way his thumb strokes the top of the box. He does this once, very lightly. Hokwai goes quiet on his stream again. Up in row 44, Rina tightens her hand on her dagger. Her knuckles turn white. The master of ceremonies starts the closing ceremony. A rich person usually offers to buy the prize immediately. This has become a scripted event. Corporate collectors love the drama of the moment. A man in a ridiculous coat steps up from the front row. He has silver hair and diamonds on his fingers. This man owns half of floor 4. He offers a price that makes the front row gasp. Subaru looks at him from behind the scorched mask. He says no to the offer. The rich man laughs politely and doubles the price. Subaru says no again. The man doubles the offer a second time. It is enough money to buy a small guild. It could buy a mid-tier mansion. The accountants from Sin Entertainment stand up in their booth. The rich man's smile begins to crack. He tells Subaru to name his price. He speaks like a man who never hears the word no. Subaru turns the box over carefully in his hands. Then he looks up. He says the shoes are not for sale. They are not for money or for a floor. He would not sell them for the whole tower. He says they belong to someone he owes. The rich man prepares to press further. He sees the eyes of Subaru through the mask. He closes his mouth and bows. Then he walks off the platform with dignity. The crowd loses their minds for the 4th time this hour. Rina stops breathing in the high seats. She replays his words in her head over and over. Rina looks at the way he cradles the box. She watches his thumb stroke the top. This reminds her of floor 7 20 years ago. She remembers a campfire and a brown paper box. She sees Toshiya dancing in those shoes. A younger leader sat laughing on a log. He promised to raid a whole floor to get those shoes. Rina thinks about the way that leader used to stand. He put his weight on the back foot. His shoulder was half a hair too low. This is the stance she has watched all afternoon. Her lips move without making a sound. The word she shapes is only 1 syllable long. She has not spoken this word in 20 years. Then she shakes her head hard. She tells herself he is dead. Everyone knows he is dead. No one survives a betrayal on the 8th floor. This winner must be a lucky fanboy. She grips her dagger tighter. Her plan does not change. She cannot hesitate now. If she is wrong, the shoes will be lost. A rich collector would keep them forever. She has chased these rumors for 10 years. She will not fail because of a coincidence. She will wait and follow. Then she will ambush and recover the items. Finally, she will vanish. That is her plan. On the platform, Subaru lifts the box in a salute. It is not a victory pose. It is gentle and polite. The cameras catch every angle. Merchandise will sell out by morning. He steps off the platform as medics swarm him. Hatsuka runs up on wobbly legs to escort him. She is crying while trying to look professional. Subaru gently pats her on the head. Viewers take screenshots of that moment. He walks toward the champion's tunnel. Rina watches him go. She stands up and pulls her hood tighter. She slips the dagger back inside her coat. She moves down the row like water. She spent 20 years learning how to move through crowds. No one looks at her or notices her. The arena screams for the masked rookie. One thin figure in a hooded coat drifts toward the exits. No one knows she was ever there. She will find him outside. She already scouted the exit route. There is an alley 2 blocks from the back gate. The VIP cars usually wait there. She will wait on a nearby rooftop. She still does not know the truth. If she is right, the mask hides a familiar face. She might attack the one person who remembers her guildmates. He has carried their memory for 20 years. If she is wrong, she will attack a fanboy. She must take back what her family died for. Either way, the dagger comes out tonight. She slips through the exit and disappears. Down in the champion's tunnel, the fighter pauses. He looks back at the seats once. He could not have seen her. She wore a hood, and the lighting was poor. The distance was far too great. He looks back at the seats anyway. His hand rests on the box. His thumb strokes the top once. He does not know she is alive. He does not know that Shigure is alive. He thinks he is the only survivor. He is 20 years into a solo revenge climb. He carries the ghosts of his guild with him. He turns away from the seats. He follows Hatsuka down the tunnel. Somewhere above, a hooded figure settles onto a rooftop. She has a dagger and a plan. Somewhere higher, Kyojo Kazuki gives orders on a phone. He speaks in a very quiet voice. On a hidden leaderboard, an old name moves. It has not moved in 20 years. Now it ticks up several slots. The masked rookie walks away. He holds the silver shoes cradled against his heart. The story was only just beginning to unfold.